Good morning. This is Mark Taylor. I am a Vistage chair, as well as several other Vistage chairs in this course. And I took this course because I was curious. I'd read some of Professor Pfeffer's work before, Leadership BS, which intrigued me. I was not prepared for how surprised I was about this course. Power. I guess I have been constantly provoked through this course on some of the things, the actions to take to be more powerful. And, Vistage, I would say, is not a typical kind of community. I saw Michael's video on kumbaya leadership, and I think we're more kumbaya than we are power in the sense of being aggressive and arrogant and braggadocious and some of the things that we've seen. But it certainly has caused me to reflect, and as I look back on my career, and this is really my fourth career, I see that if I would have learned this in my 20s, it could have been very useful if I had applied it in several of my previous careers where the politics and the ability to assert myself and leverage my power is something that I didn't do. I didn't know. So this course, the context surrounding my project is in January I accepted a new position called a best practice chair. So the best practice chair works with 16 Vistage chairs. Vistage chairs are independent contractors, as I am. And my role is to help them become better in their practice so that we can deliver more value to our members. And the role is being redefined at the same time that I took this role. And so my goal was, how could I help them be more successful? How could I improve my relationship with them? How can I make a bigger impact? So I'm looking at it from a power position that way. Now, coming up with a metric was really challenging. I probably could have come up with a better one. The one I came up with was I was going to measure the impact of this project on the attendance at the best practice chair meetings. In the past year, attendance has been about 50%. Chairs don't have to come, so it's not a demand type power or a power that you can have through authority. It really is power from the aspect of influence, and how can I positively influence chairs to come to make a bigger difference. So my first meeting in January, we had pretty good attendance. It was, I think it was about 60%. The second meeting was 65%, and my next meeting is this Friday, which I'm currently expecting to have over 70%. So if that's really a measure of what I've been doing through this course, I'm not sure. But it is improving, and we could say that the metric would say that I've succeeded. What I did first as a best practice chair was I sent a survey to all of the chairs and asked them the question of what are their suggestions for improving the value of the meetings. And what I heard was that they wanted less headquarters stuff. They wanted it to be more about how they could become better chairs and actually practice and get feedback. And so I restructured the way the meetings were from the past, where they actually get up and take turns leading different aspects of the meeting so that they can get feedback from their peers on how they can improve. And that's gone really well. The feedback I've received has been very positive about that. I would say that the other thing that I've done is I've worked on building relationships at a different level with each of them. I have a group called a trusted advisor group where I have different service professionals like lawyers and CPAs and insurance and people that are professional service providers that meet once a month. And one of the objectives of that group is that we get referrals for new members, and every chair is looking for new members always. And so I've invited, so far every month I've had another Vistage chair in my best practice group come as a guest chair and talk about themselves and facilitate an issue and talk about who they're looking for. And my trusted advisor group has been providing introductions and referrals to them. So I'm taking care of their needs, which is one of the things that I learned in this course, is to find out what the other's objectives are and then see how you could serve them. And I think that has built a deeper relationship with each of the 5 chairs I've had so far come to my group, and I plan on continuing this practice. So what I did is I surveyed them, and the reason was to develop a relationship and find out what their needs were. And discovering what their needs are, I've worked to take care of their needs. What I've learned from this course is that it's all about the relationship. I think one of the chapters we talked about that small things matter, providing attention and support. And I have certainly stepped up the attention and the support through responding through emails right away, through developing personal relationships, for looking for things that I can do that can contribute to the success of each of them. And I think that's made a big difference. The other thing is being visible and working to make my objectives compelling. So when I speak at the beginning of every meeting, I talk about what is it that we're about, and it's about increasing the effectiveness and enhancing the lives of our members, and that as we get better, we can have a bigger impact on them and make a bigger impact on CEOs and their families and their companies, and really tens, if not hundreds of thousands of employees in this area. The other thing that I think that I learned is that flattery works. I remember taking Dale Carnegie many years ago and learning about it, but thinking it was somewhat manipulative, and not really being insincere, but authentically looking for positive things to say about people. And I can see people flourishing, and I've been going out of my way to be more positive and to make more compliments than I ever have in the past. And I think the last thing is learning what matters to people, my chairs as well as my boss, and working to support their goals, I think, was the big lesson. So I would say it was about the relationship, small things matter, learning what's important to them, being visible, flattery works, and to make my objectives compelling were the 6 things that I've learned from this course. I'm very grateful that I was invited to do this course and that I did this course. I had a great coaching session with Michael yesterday. So thank you for putting this and inviting us, putting this on and inviting us in this course. Bye-bye.